All right. So, so before we go to the next session, that is creating our first decisioning application, let us quickly recap what we have learned in the yesterday and day before yesterday session. So, in the first session, we have seen basically the difference between decisioning versus marketing. So, decisioning is nothing but contains the features to identify the next best action, which is nothing but right offer to right customer at right time. And then we have seen the marketing. So marketing contains the features to deliver the next best action, okay, like sending the email, sending the SMS, push notifications, etc. Then we have seen the difference between inbound versus outbound marketing. So inbound marketing is where customers are contacting the business and business is going to send the promotions to the customers. Outbound is where business is only contacting the customers, right? So then we have seen the different portals that we have the CDH portal, which is nothing but customer decision hub. Then we have the this is the main portal for PEGA decisioning. Then we have seen the prediction studio, which is the analytical portal. Okay, which is analytical portal. And then we have the NBA advisor. This is the integration portal. This is the integration portal between customer service and PEGA marketing. That means whatever the offers that are suitable for a given customer, those offers can be displayed in the NBA advisor portal. Okay, then we have the fourth portal, that is a one-to-one ops manager. Okay, which is used by the business users to create the change requests. So the one-to-one ops manager is used by the business users to create the change requests. So that is what this one-to-one ops manager will do. Okay, now, so then we have seen the environment preparation yesterday. So we have seen the steps to set up the environment. Okay, where we need to do the node classification by setting the ADM, DDS, RTDG, real time. Okay, then you have to do the verification in the admin studio. Okay, under nodes you have to do the admin studio verification. Then we have the dev studio verification also. Under the configure, decisioning, infrastructure, services, this is where you go and you will be able to see all the decisioning services. The status of the services should be normal. Okay, the status of the services should be normal. So that is how you can confirm whether the PEGA decisioning services are enabled and running or not. That's what you need to do, right? So then we have seen the context dictionary, which is nothing but the audience dictionary, right? So which has primary context, secondary context, and we have the associated data. Primary context is the primary audience, secondary context is the secondary audience, associated data will be the all the related tables for those particular context, like the customers products, customers loans, customers credit cards, etc. So this has to be configured in the first step. So then we have also seen the, I think we covered one more thing, right? Okay, anyway, so let us go with the application creation here. So I'm just trying to open the challenge, but sometimes you might face this issue as well, where you cannot open the challenge actually. So just one of you can try to open the challenge from your side. Just go to this challenges link and you try to launch the CDH. Okay. So you are aware, right, the procedure. So just try, everyone try to do that now. If anyone is able to open the link, so just share the link in the chat so then we can proceed on that. So let me retry again. Just a second. So meanwhile, please try from your side, open from your side and check whether the challenge is getting open. Is everyone trying to open the link? No, not this link. So go to this link, whichever is in the chat, or you can go to the links that you have with you. Then launch the Pega. Okay, once you launch it, then you will get another link there. Okay. See, for example, if you see my screen, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. So once you open this challenge, when you go down, you have this option called initialize Pega. So you need to do the initialize Pega. See, all of you, please try this one. So you need to also select the latest version. So whenever you open the challenge, please select the latest version which is there. So then you need to click on the launch Pega button. Okay, so this is how you will be getting. So now you can click on this link and you can get started. Okay, let us log in with this and let's switch what is the password here. Yeah, just try to log in from your side. Let us see if anyone is able to open. Is everyone able to open the challenge? Anyone is
No,
facing
it's
any issue?
loading. It's loading for me. It is not getting open.
Okay. What about others? Is everyone able to open? So you need to get the message as ready.
I'm I'm able to open and I have pasted that link.
Okay, okay, great. Yeah, so this is the link which you need to edit. So once you open this, right, so you will be getting this CDH application. Okay, so that is what you need to make sure. So like try it everyone, make sure that you are able to log in. So that is the first step of practicing the application. Okay, that's the first step of practicing the application. So now I'm going to the CDH. Let us start with the application setup. So I'm going to the intelligence prediction studio. Okay. Then once you go to the prediction studio, we need to switch to the dev studio. So till now we have seen the basics before we start creating our application. That is what is CDH, what are the portals that are there. So within the portals, what each portal will do. So then we have seen how to set up the environment, all those things. Now we are getting started with creating our first PEGA decisioning application. Okay, we are creating our first PEGA decisioning application. Okay, so let us launch it one more time. So in order to go to the prediction studio, you need to go to the intelligence, then you need to go to prediction studio. Okay, that's what you need to do. Do one thing, just launch it again. Okay, so this is my customer decision hub. Remember, this is the portal which you will be using most of the time in your implementation. This is a portal that you will be using most of the time in your implementation. So once you are here, you need to click on the intelligence, then go to the prediction studio. So once you are in the prediction studio, you need to switch to the dev studio. Okay. So this is the prediction studio where we are going to create our adaptive models and predictive models. So I'm going to switch to the dev studio now. So creating the PEGA CDH application is same as creating the PEGA normal application also. There is not much difference between creating the PEGA CDH application and PEGA BPM application. But there are a lot of rules that will be getting created. So how do we create a PEGA application? So we go to the application, then we click on the new application, right? That's what we are going to do now also. So once you go here, you will be getting this option. So here what you need to do is you need to select the option build from existing application. So if at all your business has already installed the PEGA NBA framework, then you will be able to see this option called PEGA Customer Decision Hub. So select this option. Okay, you need to select this PEGA CDH. So then select the option build with Customer Decision Hub. So if you go to the application and go to the definition, you will be able to see whether the frameworks are installed or not. So if the framework is installed, then only you will be able to see the option customer decision hub. Okay, very useful feature starting from PEGA 8.8. We have a setup wizard. We have a setup wizard in order to create our entire PEGA decisioning application. So let us launch that setup wizard. Okay, so let us launch that setup wizard, and so you can see now this is my setup wizard. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just clicking on the next button. Okay, so then what you need to do, you need to provide your organization name. For example, in our application we are going to see banking project. Okay, so we are going to see a banking project. So let us do one thing, I'll just give the organization name as so we'll give the organization name as what you say, for example, just a minute, just a minute, just okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm giving the organization name, for example, as XYZ Bank. Okay. I'm giving the organization name as XYZ Bank. So throughout this entire course, we will be focusing on a banking project. So that's the reason I'm giving the organization name as XYZ Bank. I'm giving the application name as XYZ Promotions, something like this. Okay, I'm giving something called XYZ Promotions. So then you can click on next button. Okay, so now once you are creating the application, there are two things that are present as part of your application wizard. So what are those two things? Let us go through. So the first one is called as car model. Okay, the second one is called as NBAD template. So if at all you are using the latest versions, like starting from PEGA 8.8, we have the PEGA setup wizard is there, the CDH application setup wizard is there. But if you are using some old versions, then you need to do these steps manually. But starting from the latest versions, PEGA wizard will automatically install the car model and NBAD template. So what is the meaning of car? So CAR stands for Customer Analytical Record. Okay, Customer Analytics Record. So what does that mean? So the CAR model is basically contains all the data model classes, tables required for your application. So that is what the car model will contain. Okay, basically what does the car model contain is the car model contains all the data model classes tables that is needed for your application. For example, I am creating a banking application, right? I am creating a banking application throughout this entire course. So for a banking application in Pega decisioning, what kind of properties do we have? For example, something like a loan EMI, okay, monthly installment, okay, monthly installment, monthly EMI price, something like that, right? These are all specific to bank. These are all specific to bank. So we will have these kind of exposed properties, columns, tables, everything present in our car model. That is what the car model will contain. So the advantage of the PEGA car model is the car model will give you all the necessary tables. For example, in a banking application, you can have something like a loans table, credit cards table, right? Debit cards table. General, in every bank, you will have all these things. So the PEGA car model will have all these predefined tables, classes, data model present already. Okay, so that you don't need to create everything from scratch. You don't need to create everything from scratch. All these required data model tables class everything will be given by the PEGA itself. Okay, so then what does NBAD template contain? So the NBAD template contain sample CDH configuration data. Okay, so when I say sample CDH configuration data, for example, it will contain some sample offers, sample categories, okay, some sample what you say configuration specific to your application. Okay, for example, if you are taking NBAD template, in the NBAD template you will have some sample offers for your application. For example, like a credit card, a personal loan, a housing loan, because yours is a banking domain, right? Yours is a banking project. So the template will contain some sample categories like credit cards, debit cards, and like some 1 CR personal loan, okay, 1 million housing loan. So these kind of things will be there in the NBAD template. Along with that, it will also contain some sample configuration specific to your industry. Okay, the car model contains the data model classes tables for your industry. NBAD template contains the configuration for your industry. So the NBAD stands for next best action designer. Okay, next best action designer template. So these two things are automatically installed by the PEGA CDH setup wizard starting from the 8.8 versions. But if you are using some old version, you need to do this thing manually. Okay, you need to do this thing manually. So how you need to do that? For example, if you go to the PEGA and just search car model for banking. Okay, so if you see this car model for banking, you will get this component. Okay, you will get this component. So you need to download this component and you need to install this manually. So I'll show you how to do that manually. I'll show you. Okay, just you need to download this and import this to the PEGA. Same way, you have the NBAD template for banking PEGA. So you see here, this also I have. So this also you need to go here, you need to download this and you need to install this in the PEGA CDH. So these things you have to do manually if you are using a older versions of PEGA CDH. But if you are using the latest version, the wizard itself will take care of entire procedure. Okay, you don't need to do anything. Everything will be done by the application setup wizard only. Okay, so that is the advantage. Basically the advantage is Pega will give you everything, the classes, tables, properties, exposed columns, everything will Pega will give you. So for your requirement, for your business, whatever you have, for example, in the banking project, Pega has given us three tables. One table is credit cards, debit cards. Third one is loans, or let us say personal loans. These are the ones Pega has given. But for your application, for your project, you need some other tables also, right? For example, you need some other table like mortgage, mortgage loans. Okay, so this is not given by Pega. So you can simply extend the existing car model. Whatever the Pega has given the car model, which contains all the required tables, classes, and properties, simply you can extend the same thing. So that is the reason it is called as XCAR. XCAR stands for Extended Customer Analytics Record. Okay, that is the meaning of that. See, this is just a term, so don't get confused or feel it like a complex thing. Car is nothing but data model. Basically, it's nothing but a data model. So when I say data model, it contains all the classes, tables, properties, definitions, all these things. The class definitions, all these things. So that is given by Pega itself. So if you have some specific data model for your application, you extend the car. So you call it as extended car. Okay. Clear? Any questions? Any confusion? No
Clear,
confusions?
Ravi.
Everything's clear?
Yes, nothing.
Okay. So yeah, these are the two things mainly which we have to install it. Okay. One is the car. Second is the NBAD template. Again, like I told, Wizard will automatically do that. So, but you need to understand the terms. Okay. Car is nothing but the data model. NBAD template is nothing but the CDH configuration. So there are some CDH configuration will be there, that will be there in the NBAD template. So now what you need to do here is you need to select the appropriate industry of your application. For example, if you are working for a telecom, you need to select the telecom industry. If you are working for a banking, you need to select the banking industry. If your application does not come under this, then you can select the other. Okay. So if your application does not come under this, you can select the other option. Okay, so when you select other, then some default general properties will be created. For example, customer ID, or let us say EMI, monthly EMI. So general properties, so the properties will be specific to all the industries. Those kind of properties, those kind of tables will be installed. Okay, so I'm selecting here. retail banking, which is specific to my application. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the next button. So now I have the repository here. So this repository is where we are actually going to store our interactions. What is the meaning of interactions? Interaction in general means what? Interaction means we are talking to the customer, like we sent a message to the customer, customer has replied. We have sent an offer to the customer has replied to that offer. So these kind of information can be stored into this repository. Automatically it will store into this repository. Okay, that's what this is going to do. So then I'm clicking on the next button. Just it is asking to review the configuration. So you can see this is my organization name, this is my application name, this is the industry that I selected, that is banking. Then this is the data model that is going to be installed, one-to-one data model. Then this is a template that is going to be installed, that is called NBAD template. Okay, so this is going to be NBAD template. So like I told, data model is nothing but our car. So this contains some general properties and classes for a banking, right? Like a credit card table, debit card table, okay, loans table, the properties which will be there in that, all those things will be installed, so that you can simply extend that. Instead of creating everything from scratch, you can just simply extend that, which is called as xcar. Okay, car is what PEGA will give, xcar is extended car, which is what PEGA, our project, will do. So then we have the next best action designer configuration, which is the NBAD template. Now I'll just click on the start button. Okay, so now the setup will start creating. It might take 15 to 20 minutes also, depending on the server speedness and the environment. So you need to be patient and try to make sure that the setup has been completed. Till then you have to just be patient. So any questions till what we have seen till now? Okay, that is a decisioning versus marketing, inbound versus outbound. Okay, and then we have the environment preparation. Okay, context dictionary, right? So then we have the application car model, NBAD template, right? So any questions till here? Is it clear till here? Okay, so again, 90% of the time you are supposed to generally work on the already existing application. So you will not be involved in creating a new PEGA decisioning application and all that. Okay, so this is generally done by the lead decisioning architect. Okay, so we have the roles like lead decisioning architect, senior decisioning architect, junior decisioning architect. So you might be under senior decisioning or junior decisioning. So that is what you will be. So you don't need to worry like if the application fails or how to set up the environment, all those things you don't need to worry. But for our learning purpose, you need to make sure that you know all these things. Okay, got it? Any queries? Any questions? Good, saying, try. Okay, so we'll do one thing, just restart. So I'm giving the application name again, that is XYZ Promotions. So I'm selecting the banking. Okay, so that's it, and start. Okay, so it is some issues. I think this issue with the environment, so you don't need to worry. Okay, so I'll check that one. Okay, once the application is created, so this is how your application will get created. So I'll just check why it's not getting created. Maybe some environment issue. So assume that this is our application, which is our first decisioning application that will be created. Okay. So if you have noticed this, the first thing that you need to check is the context dictionary, whether the context dictionary has been set up successfully or not. Okay. So that you can see it in your App Studio. So if you go to the App Studio, go to the settings, then in the settings you have the context dictionary, which contains the primary context, secondary context, and the associated data. So you see, this is our primary context. Like I told you right yesterday also, at any given point of time, there will be only one primary context, but there can be multiple secondary context. Okay, that means the primary audience will be only one, but there can be multiple secondary audience. So for example, right now you are promoting to the customers. I want to promote to the prospect. I want to promote to the prospect. So simply you can just click on the change primary, then you can convert the secondary context to the primary context, like that. That's what you can do. Okay. So then if you click on this, right, you will be able to see all the details, whether what all are installed, everything will be there here. Okay. So generally, now you might be getting some doubt. For example, the application has created some wizard and it has created all the rules. Do we need to install the same application in all the environments or not? So for that, the answer is no. You just need to run this application setup wizard only one time. Okay, you just need to run it only one time. So once you run the application wizard, at the end of the wizard will automatically create a product rule for you. So if you go to the sysadmin, and if you go to the products, the application wizard will automatically create a product rule for you. Okay. So you see, this is the one. This will be like this. Okay, your application name, my application name is cdh underscore the context generated rules. This is how it will be. Okay. So once you click on this, this product will contain all the data. Okay, this product will contain all the data whatever you need to use. Simply you just need to import this product into the higher environments. Okay, you just need to import this product into the higher environments. You can see here, right, all these rules are automatically created by the PEGA decisioning itself. PEGA decisioning wizard, that's application wizard. Okay, you see, all these rules are automatically created by the wizard itself. So your product rule name will be something like the application name underscore context generated rules. So you just need to download this product and import the product in the higher environments. That's what you need to do, so that everything will get imported. Okay. Now once the application is imported, you just need to verify the rule sets. Okay. So let us say this is our first PEGA decisioning application. If you go to the definition, there is lot of things that you need to do here. Okay. For example, just now I told you, right, let us say you are using a old version of PEGA. Right now I am creating the application with the setup wizard itself. If you are using older version, what you need to do? So you need to download this. Okay, you need to download this. For example, uh, I'm downloading the car model. So this is my car model, right? So this is the car model, which is for banking. So if you scroll down, what does this car model contains? It will tell you business friendly properties ready to use in next best action designer. It contains the classes, data tables, and class definitions for your application. Okay, so that means this car model contains the properties, classes, associations, data tables, class definitions, all these things. Okay, so just you can download this. So this is downloaded. Okay, now what I will do, I'll just go to the application. So once you go to the application, let me what you need to do, just you need to go to the configure, go to the application, distribution, and import. See again, this is a procedure for lower versions, not for the higher versions. If you are creating the application manually without the wizard, then you need to do this also manually. Okay, so you need to download that, right? So I'm just selecting the file. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, so if you see now, so simply I just selected this file. Okay, I just selected the car model. This is my car model for financial services. Financial services means like banks, banking institutions, or finance institutions, all those things. Just you need to click on the next button. Next button. Okay, so then, okay, so that's it, we are done. So now what you need to do, once you install, what you need to do is you need to go to the manage components here, click on the manage components. So once you click on the manage components, what all components that you have installed, right, like for example the car model, that will be displayed here. Then you need to select this enable option and click on OK. That's it. That's what you need to do. Okay, that's it. That is what you need to do here. So same procedure for installing the NBAD template also. Okay, you can just go here and application, distribution, import, and select the NBAD template and import that. Okay, that's what you need to do. That's it. So this is the steps that you need to do if you are doing the application manually. But if you are doing with wizard, you don't need to do anything. Everything will be done by the application wizard only. Okay. Now next thing, starting from latest versions, if you have installed PEGA Operations Manager, all the Operations Manager rules, they will be created in this rule set only. So what is the purpose of Operations Manager? I told you, right? So let me tell you again. Starting from PEGA 23, Operations Manager is part of PEGA decisioning framework, and it is part of your curriculum also. So what is Operations Manager? Basically the business users will create a change request for the requirement that they have. Decisioning team will work on the change request and resolve that. Then the revision manager will create a revision and deploy these changes to higher environments. In short, this is the procedure. But again, we have a separate topic for operations manager. We have a separate session for that. But at a high level, the operations manager is responsible for the business users to create the change request and get the changes to be addressed. For example, they want for new product to be added. They want a new offer to be added. They want to change the price of the offer. So for all these kind of requirements, the business users will create the change request and we have to work on those. So all these changes, they will be going into this rule set only. Okay, so this will be same format, like this only. It will be OLSTDR, your application name. Okay, like this. So it will be OLSTDR and your application name. So again, once we see that session, we will see more details, why it is coming like that, what is the meaning of that, all those things. Okay, but this is our operations manager's rule set. So then we have some rule sets for PEGA decisioning also. So the first rule set that we have is artifacts rule set. So what is the purpose of artifacts rule set? The main purpose of artifacts rule set is to store all the auto generated rules. Okay, by default, all auto generated rules, for example, when you are creating our wizard also, we have seen some 2 to 3 lines where the wizard is creating some auto generated rules, right? So all these auto generated rules, they will be stored into artifacts rule set. Okay, the format of the artifacts rule set will be your application ID dash artifacts. Okay, so in our example, my application ID is CDH. So it is CDH dash artifacts. So the artifacts rule set will contain all the auto generated rules. That means I am running some wizard. I am configuring something in the customer decision hub. In the backend, some rules will get created, right? So those auto generated rules, they will be going into artifacts rule set. Okay, they will be going into artifacts rule set. So you need to keep the latest version always unlocked. You need to keep the latest version always unlocked, because if at all the auto generated rules are getting created, you kept the latest version as locked, then how does it get created? It will not get created, right? So that is the reason in every environment, artifacts rule set latest version should always be kept unlocked. Remember this thing, okay? Very important thing. Main purpose of artifacts rule set is to store auto generated rules. So since we keep the latest version of this rule set unlocked, it will also act like a production rule set. For example, in the production environment, you need to do some changes due to some critical defect or something is there. You need to do some changes immediately. So you can keep the changes in the artifacts rule set, because in every environment, this rule set should have the latest version unlocked. So you can keep your changes also there itself. Okay, understand the difference and the purpose of this artifacts rule set? Yes, any questions, any doubts? I'm not getting anything. Clear for everyone?
Yes, Ravi.
Okay. So the next rule set that we have is NBAD test rule set. Okay. So what does this stand for? This stands for next best action designer tests. Okay. So the first rule set that we need to know is the artifacts rule set. Artifacts rule set is used to store all the auto generated rules. Okay. They will be going into this one. It is also considered as a production rule set. The next rule set that we need to learn is the NBAD test rule set. What is the purpose of this NBAD test rule set? So this rule set is similar to your test cases rule set. Okay, similar to a test cases rule set in BPM applications. So it will store all the unit testing and test cases or testing rules. Okay, and no need to promote this to higher environment. So this is simply like a test cases rule set for your application. Okay, this is simply like a test cases rule set for your PEGA decisioning application. For example, you are running some strategy. In order to test the strategy, you need to do some rules. You need to create some rules. So those kind of rules you can keep it in the NBAD tests rule set. Okay, artifacts rule set is used to store the auto generated rules. NBAD test rule set is used to store the testing related rules, any kind of testing that you do. So these rules you don't need to promote to the higher environment. These are only for testing purpose. Okay, these rules are only for testing purpose. Those kind of rules you can keep it in the NBAD tests. Then the remaining rule sets are, which you are already know that. Okay, this is same for your PEGA BPM also. That's the rules rule set, application rule set, application integration rule set, organization rule set, organization integration rule set. Okay, all these are same as your PEGA BPM applications. Now if you see this one, whenever the operations manager is installed, right, you will also have this application called PEGA DevOps Foundation. Anyone has used deployment manager before from this meeting? Did anyone use deployment manager? Is everyone is alive?
No,
No,
Ravi.
I haven't used Ravi.
Okay. So basically the deployment manager purpose is it is used to do automated deployments. That means, for example, you can deploy from development to staging, staging to production, or staging to UAT, UAT to production. So automatically the deployment manager will do the automatic deployments and rollbacks. So this DevOps foundation is for that purpose. So the purpose of this PEGA DevOps foundation is this application is connected to revision manager. So same like deployment manager, revision manager will also do automatic deployment from dev to staging, staging to UAT, UAT to pre-production, pre-production to production. Like that, you need to configure a pipeline. Okay, you need to configure a pipeline. So through that pipeline, this revision manager will automatically deploy. So for that purpose, this is there. Okay, so again we'll see this all these things in the operations manager session. Just I'm giving you a highlight, that's it. So then the last application that we have here is the Gen AI providers. So starting from Pega Infinity, Pega has introduced Gen AI in our application. So that means everything is AI generated, or we can use the support of AI. So just I showed you yesterday also, right? In the CDH, we have something called CDH assistant. So this CDH assistant will run with Gen AI only. That means it's a feature of the AI which will give you the automated responses and all those information. That's what this will do. Okay. So that is the reason we need to have the Gen AI also. All these things are automatically added by the wizard. You don't need to add anything manually. So these are the basic architecture or basic understanding of our application here. Okay, once you create the application, this is what will happen. Okay, you will have the operations manager rule set. You will have the artifacts rule set, which will contain the auto generated rules. You will have the NBAD test rule set, which we can use it for storing testing related rules like unit tests, test cases. These kind of things you can keep it in this one. Okay, so that is the purpose of these three rule sets. Remaining rule sets you already know, same purpose, no difference. But these are the three additional rule sets that we have. Now, along with that, there is one more database recommended for Pega decisioning application. So that is called Cassandra Database. Okay, that is called Cassandra Database. See, in your general application, you will have the Pega data or Pega rules, right? And your database will be like Oracle database or PostgreSQL database. Now, apart from those two databases, for Pega decisioning applications, Pega recommends, okay, Pega recommends using Cassandra database as well. Okay, using the Cassandra database as well. So what is the purpose? Why does Pega recommend Cassandra database? See, very important. Remember, in your Pega development application, you might not interact with customers, right? You might not interact with customers, but that is not the case in Pega decisioning. In Pega decisioning, we will interact with the customers. We will send the products to the customers. We will send the offers to the customers. The customers will respond to those offers, right? So we are storing very important data like the customer data, the product data, okay, the loan data. This kind of data, very important data, we are storing in our Pega. So all this data is very important. So that is the reason Pega recommends Cassandra for two reasons. One is for scalability, second is for availability. Scalability means your application, let us say if you are having 10 records, it will load fast. But same application, if you are having some 1 million records, then your application will take a lot of time, right? Your application will hang, your system will not work. But that is not the case with Cassandra database. The Cassandra database, even with 10 records also it will be faster. Even with 1 million records also it will be still faster only. It will not hang up the system. But your Oracle database or PostgreSQL database, it is not like that. If you are having huge number of records, it will keep on loading. It will get hanged, right? It will get hanged. But Cassandra database is not like that. Even if you have millions of records also, it will load the data much faster. It will load the data much faster. That is what it will do. So then we have the second thing that is called as availability. So what is availability? So availability means how long the system is available, right? How long the system is available. Okay. How long the system is available, that is called as availability. That means, for example, during crashes or during maintenance, your data can be crashed, right? Your data can be uh, deleted or erased, but you don't need to worry about these kind of scenarios with Cassandra database. So even during critical failures, outages, maintenance time, still the data will be persisted to the table. It will not get erased. So data will not get erased during critical failures or system crashes. During all these scenarios also, Cassandra database will be able to persist the data. So for these two reasons, Pega recommends using Cassandra database as an additional database. Okay, that means along with your existing database you can add one more database also, that is Cassandra database. Why is the reason? Two things: scalability, availability. All the big businesses will be using Pega, right? They will have millions of customers, like 10 million, 20 million, 5 million customers. If you have to promote to 5 million customers, it will take lot of time, right? That is the reason scalability will come into picture. Second thing is availability. If you are losing the customer data or customer products, it is very difficult for you to get it back, right? It will be very difficult to get it back. So that is the reason scalability and availability is part of Cassandra database. That means your data will always be there. Your data will never get removed. Okay, your data will never get removed from Cassandra database. But for scalability, your huge data can also be easily retrieved into the Cassandra database. So that is the advantage of having the Cassandra database. So the good thing is Pega decisioning application will internally have the Cassandra database. The internal Cassandra database is already there. So if you go to the configure decisioning infrastructure services, so then when you go to the decision data store, this is where you can see the internal Cassandra database details. You see here, this is our internal Cassandra database. That means Pega, when you are creating the application itself, has created one Cassandra database for you. Okay, it has created one Cassandra database for you. This is the details. This is a Cassandra. This is a password. So it's up to you now whether you want to use this internal Cassandra database or not. It is up to you. But it is recommended to use Cassandra database for our application. Okay, Cassandra is big data. Yeah, it is. It's NoSQL database, not big data. It's a NoSQL database, Cassandra. But it is recommended to have a Cassandra database. It's not mandatory, but it is just a recommendation. Okay, so and Pega will have internal Cassandra database already installed for you for your Pega decisioning application. If you want to use that, you can use that. Otherwise, you don't need to use. It's up to you. Okay, but it is a recommendation from Pega to use Cassandra so that scalability and availability can be achieved. That is the purpose of this. So remember, decision data store is always mapped to Cassandra database. For example, if the decision data store is having some errors, for example, status is having some error, that means your Cassandra database is having some errors. You will not be able to connect to the Cassandra database. That is the purpose of decision data store. DDS, okay. I told you, right? ADM, DDS, real time RTDG, all these things yesterday. So ADM is for adaptive model and predictive model. DDS is for Cassandra database. Okay, DDS is for Cassandra database. If this service is running, then only you can access the Cassandra database. Otherwise, you cannot access the Cassandra database. Okay. and PEGA will already give you the internal Cassandra database for you. You don't need to create a new one. You can still use the existing internal Cassandra database. Okay, so how do we use this? All these things we'll see in the coming sessions. But as of today, we have created our decisioning application, and we have seen generally what all rule sets get created. Okay, what all applications will get created, all these things. Okay, clear? Any questions? Any questions till now? That
Ravi,
means
can you
starting
just
from the
give
first
an
session.
example
Yeah.
for the artifacts rules?
Sorry.
Uh, I mean, auto rules that you mentioned, like auto rules will be created for the artifacts. Right? Can you
Yeah, yeah.
help
That
with an,
is. This is the one artifacts rule set.
yeah, the auto rules you mentioned, right? Ravi? Like on a
Yes,
high level,
auto-generated rules. Auto-generated rules.
so those are not related to operations manager, right? We have a separate, I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Not related to operations manager. Operations manager rules will be there here only in this one only.
that change ticket related also will be in this one, the first.
Yes, yes. Everything will be here only. Yes. So whatever the change requests are coming, those rules, and for example, you are fixing something, right? For example, the business has asked to change the credit card monthly EMI from $1,000 to $2,000. Okay, so you need to save as that rule, and you need to save it as 2,000, right? That you will keep it in this rule set only. Okay, all the changes related to operations manager you will be keeping in the operations manager rule set only. Remember that. Okay, so this is if you are using operations manager, then only you have to use this rule set, otherwise you don't need to use this. Okay, that means if the change is going through operations manager, you have to save into this rule set. And you can see here artifacts rule set, it is unlocked. Not only here, in every environment the highest version should be unlocked, so that whatever auto generated rules are coming through the wizard or through the configuration, they will come and they will store in this only. Okay, they will be storing into this artifacts rule set only. That is how the PEGA is defined. So every environment, this rule set should be unlocked. Okay, you see all these things are automatically created. All these things are automatically created by the configuration. You did not do anything. Okay, any other questions before we
Uh,
close?
if we are going to create any new adaptive model, then we need to use this CDH artifacts rule set, or we can create our own rule set.
No, 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 we can keep it in rules rule set. So all the PEGA decisioning rules we will be keeping in the rules rule set. Artifacts rule set is mainly for auto generated rules, and we will also keep the PEGA marketing rules in the artifacts rule set. Okay, but all the PEGA decisioning rules, they will be kept in the rules rule set only. Okay, yeah. So then if you are doing some testing, for example you are testing some rule, then you can keep those testing in the NBAD tests. That means those rules are not needed for promotion to higher environment. So this is like a test cases rule set, and this you can ignore this rule set. This is for this exercise system. Okay, enablement is this enablement, right? This is for the exercise system, not for you. Okay, you can ignore this rule set. It will not be there in the real-time project. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Like till now, whatever we have done, the context dictionary, environment setup, the verification, the decisioning services that we have, okay, and the application creation, the car model, NBAD template, okay. So basically, if you see here in the customer decision hub, what the NBAD template will do is the NBAD template will install all these offers, okay. So the NBAD template will install this configuration basically. So you see all these tabs are coming, right? So these tabs will come whenever you install the NBAD template. So one more thing is, if you click on this taxonomy, all this you see here, credit cards, deposit accounts, mortgages, auto loans, okay, all these are also coming from the NBAD template only. Okay, that means NBAD template will install the configuration, and it will also install some sample categories and some sample offers in your application. Okay, because this is a banking application, that's the reason you are seeing these kind of categories like credit cards, mortgages, etc. For example, you are creating the NBAD template in a telecom application. There you will be seeing something like mobile plans, internet plans, these kind of categories will be there. Okay, so we will explore these categories tomorrow. Okay, all these things tomorrow. But yeah, so this is about it. And we have completed our demo sessions. Maybe starting from Monday onwards we will have the enrolled sessions only. So please go ahead and enroll to the course. Like I told, you will be getting the daily recordings, daily PPTs will be there. You will be getting weekly assignments. So whatever we have seen this week, I'll share you the assignment. You need to practice that in your exercise system. You will be getting the certification dumps. You will be getting some sample projects at the end of the course, which you can keep it in your resume. Okay, and this is a 100% certification assistance program. That means if you enroll to this course, 100% certification guarantee will be there. Okay, that means you will be definitely PEGA decisioning consultant certified. Okay, so that is 100% guarantee. Okay, so any other questions before we close?
Can you explain what is secondary context?
Sorry. Okay, so someone is asking, can you explain what is auto generated rules? See, basically auto generated rules are this kind of things, right? For example, just now I told you there are some sample categories that are created, right, with the wizard. So all these are sample categories that are created by the wizard itself, and some sample tables are also there, right? Which I told you, like the car model will install the tables, classes, properties, and all those. So all the rules that will be created by the wizard automatically, those are all auto generated rules. Not only with the wizard. For example, let us say you are doing some configuration in this particular tab. Okay, if you go to the channels in this tab, you will change something. For example, I am making from inactive to from active to inactive. Okay, I am editing this one and I am making from active to inactive. In the backend, some rules will be created or some rules will be updated. So all those are auto generated rules. Okay, all those are auto generated. That means you are doing some configuration in the front end, but in the back end some auto generated rules will be created for this. So all those things we'll see, like for which rule what auto generated rule will be there, all those things will be see. But in the front end it is a configuration, but in the back end it is a auto generated rule. So these rules will go into artifacts rule set. Okay, for example, if the artifact rule set is locked, then you will get some error, unable to create the rule, unable to update the rule. This kind of error will come if you are keeping the rule set as locked. That is the reason we have to keep this rule set always unlocked. Any other questions from anyone? Can you explain what is secondary context and when does it come into picture for sending the offers? See, secondary context is nothing but the secondary audience. There is nothing like you can promote only to the primary audience. You can parallelly promote to the primary context and secondary context same time, simultaneously you can do that. Okay, there is no restriction like you have to promote only to primary context. The difference, only difference is which is the main focus audience, which is the secondary focus audience, which every business will have. That's the difference between the primary context and secondary context. That is primary audience and secondary audience. But still, you can promote to both the audience simultaneously from PEGA. Okay, I hope that it answered. Okay. Any other questions from anyone before we close? Okay. So again, if you are missing the session, if you are not able to join, still you can go through the recording. It will be available lifelong. So you can still open it and you can go through, and you will also get the PPTs. You see, for every session we have the PPTs. Okay, see, everything is documented here. What is the difference between car and X car? Okay, everything is documented. You will get all these PPTs for you also. You can just download it and you can learn from the PPT also. And you will get the weekly exercise that also you can learn. You see, NBAD tests. What is NBAD tests? What is the purpose of the decision data store? Everything is mentioned here. Okay, everything is mentioned clearly. So you can just go through and you can learn it. Any other questions? No more questions from anyone? before
One
we.
thing, Vijay, one question. Actually, usually in real-time applications, we store customers' data in a third-party service and we do a service call and we get the data. So as you mentioned that in Cassandra database, we will be having customer data. So how that real-time configurations happens?
Yeah, good question. So the see for this kind of requirement, this is a very generic requirement every business will want, right? For that, Pega has given you some option that is called data import. There is a separate feature, separate topic called data import jobs in Pega. That means what same like a file listener. So what this will do is it will keep on monitoring for a particular folder. Some new file will come into that, then that file will be processed and it will be installed into the customer table. That is what this data import job will do. So you can run this job like every 1 hour, every 1 day, every 2 days, like that you can run depending on your business requirement. You see here, it will monitor this path. Whenever a new file will come, it will load that data into the customer table. Okay, you see it is mapped to this customer profile. So that means whatever is your primary context class, in the primary context class this will install the data. Okay, so this is an ongoing job. It will happen every day, every hour, like that. Got it? Yeah, this also
Okay.
we'll cover in our sessions, but we have something called data import jobs which will take the real-time data every day or every minute, like that. You see, this trigger is file detection. So whatever the new data is there, that will come as a file. That file will be processed and stored into the tables. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this feature is also added in the latest versions from 8.7, I think. Okay.
Like for sending promotions and all, we need to integrate with Cassandra database only. We cannot directly integrate CDH framework with our third-party details. Suppose I don't want to use the Cassandra
Nothing like that.
database.
Okay, if you want to use, okay.
Yeah, if I don't want to use Cassandra database, but there is already my existing application which have all the promotion details in a third-party service. So can I
Mhm.
integrate CDH with third party and send the promotions and marketing, Pega marketing things to them? Or we need
Yes,
to use,
yes. Yes. See, that is the reason Pega has bifurcated between these two frameworks. Even though there is a single framework and single curriculum, still we can only use Pega decisioning in our case. So, like you told, all the action details, what all products are there, everything is there in the third party system which is going to promote. So, from Pega side, we can only use Pega decisioning. So, if you know Verizon, like Verizon completely uses Pega decisioning only. They will not use any Pega marketing. So like I told you, right, Pega decisioning will identify which product we need to send for which customer. That is a next best action. So in your case, you need to use only Pega decisioning because Pega marketing is taken care by the third party system. So Pega decisioning will send the information to the third party system saying that, okay, for this customer, you send this product. Then the third party system will send the promotions through that system. Majority of the companies will use like that only. Okay, like they will use only Pega decisioning and Pega marketing is taken care by some third party systems. Because we know, right, Pega has a limitation to send the emails and SMS. There is, you cannot send more than 1,000 or some limitation is there. So 90% of the scenarios, third party systems will only send the emails and SMS most of the time. Yeah, did it
okay.
answer the question?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So Pega has given some service internally. OOTP service is there. The third party system has to call the service. Then Pega will give you, okay, for this customer, you have to send this product, like that. In the request, you have to send the customer details, and Pega will send the list of offers that we need to send for that customer. So in that case, we are only using decisioning, not marketing. Yeah, all these things we will be covering in the upcoming sessions. So yeah, you should be good on that. Any other questions from anyone else?
Yeah, hi Ravi. I'm able to create the application. In last, it is asking about download lock and open customization on button is there.
Hmm.
So what should I do after that? Can I download that log?
Oh, you already created the application, right?
Yes.
Nothing. Then does it say the status has completed?
Yes, status is success only.
Success. Okay, then you can log off and you can log in again. You have the log
Okay.
off button, right? I think you will get some log off
Yeah,
button.
logout.
Yeah,
Yeah, logout
that's
is
it. You
also.
can do that. You can do that. But I think it will ask you for generating a password. Does it ask you like that? Create an operator or something like that?
No, it is not asking.
Okay. Generally, it will ask you like create an operator for your application, something like that. Are you fine to share your screen?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm making you as a presenter. Like, yeah, remaining people who wants to stay, you can stay. Otherwise, you can log off. Yeah, please go ahead. You can share your application screen. I have made you as presenter.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
sharing.
for yeah, just for your sake, I'm stopping the recording also.